Hello, friends. I am Sam. Welcome back. If you enjoy my travel adventures, don't forget to check out my videos, I Go to New York and A Day in Chicago. Today, I'll take you with me to San Francisco, a city full of charm, steep streets, and beautiful landmarks. This story will not only take you on a fun journey, but also help you improve your English. So, let's begin. After my Chicago trip, I couldn't stop thinking about my next destination. San Francisco has always been on my list. I love the idea of its steep streets, the iconic Golden Gate Bridge, and the cultural vibe. So, I made up my mind and discussed my plans with Tim. Tim said, "That's a fantastic idea. San Francisco is one of the most beautiful cities in the world." Since Tim couldn't join me, he gave me some advice instead. He told me the distance from Chicago to San Francisco, about 2,100 miles by road, a 4-hour flight, or a 52-hour train ride. Tim said flying was the best option since it would save me time. I booked my ticket and packed my bags. Next day, Tim came to see me off at the airport. He gave me a big hug and said, "Enjoy every moment, and don't forget to call me." After checking in, I grabbed a coffee and waited for my flight. The atmosphere at the airport was lively, with people rushing to catch their planes. The flight was smooth and relaxing. I had a window seat, so I enjoyed the view of fluffy clouds and the patchwork of fields below. The flight attendant brought us snacks and drinks. I chose orange juice and a bag of pretzels. As we approached San Francisco, I could see the city lights sparkling in the night. The Golden Gate Bridge glowed beautifully, and I felt a rush of excitement. I landed around 9 p.m. The weather was cool, and the air smelled fresh. I grabbed my luggage and took a cab to my hotel near Union Square. The streets were quiet but charming, with twinkling lights decorating the trees. After checking in, I freshened up and went out to find dinner. A small diner nearby caught my eye. I ordered clam chowder in a sourdough bread bowl, a San Francisco specialty. It was warm, creamy, and delicious, a perfect meal for the cool evening. Feeling content, I walked back to my hotel. Walking gave me a chance to admire the quiet beauty of the city at night. Back in my room, I fell asleep, excited for the adventures awaiting me the next day. The next morning, I woke up early, excited to explore San Francisco. I had breakfast at the hotel, a plate of scrambled eggs, toast, and orange juice. To make the most of my day, I planned to visit places that were close to each other. I bought a day pass for the famous cable cars to make traveling easier. I headed out to my first stop. The first stop of my day was the iconic Golden Gate Bridge. Standing there in front of the massive orange structure, I felt a mix of awe and excitement. I walked along the pedestrian path, stopping often to admire the sweeping views of the bay, the city, and even Alcatraz Island in the distance. The wind was strong, but it only added to the drama of the moment. I must have spent an hour just soaking it all in and, taking photos. I took a quick break at a small cafe near the visitor center and treated myself to a hot cappuccino and a croissant. It was just the fuel I needed to continue exploring. Next, I headed to Alcatraz Island. The ferry ride over was surprisingly enjoyable, with the city skyline slowly fading behind me and the mysterious island getting closer. The history of Alcatraz is fascinating. Walking through the prison corridors and hearing stories of attempted escapes gave me chills. The audio tour was so detailed that it felt like stepping back in time. I could almost hear the clanging of cell doors and the whispers of prisoners plotting their escape. After Alcatraz, I made my way to Fisherman's Wharf, one of the most vibrant places I've ever seen. It was bustling with people, tourists, street performers, and locals. I wandered through the area, marveling at the colorful shops and the smell of fresh seafood. Of course, I had to try the famous clam chowder served in a sourdough bread bowl. Sitting by the water, enjoying the warm soup while watching the boats dock and depart was such a relaxing experience. In the afternoon, I walked to Chinatown, a place that felt like a completely different world. The streets were lined with red lanterns, and the aroma of Chinese food filled the air. I visited a small shop that sold intricate jade jewelry and traditional silk scarves. The highlight of Chinatown for me was a tea shop where I tasted different types of tea and learned a bit about the art of tea making. It was a calming and cultural experience I didn't expect. From Chinatown, I took a short ride to Lombard Street, the world-famous crooked street. Standing at the top and looking down, I couldn't help but smile. The neatly arranged flower beds and the twists and turns of the road were charming. I walked down slowly, enjoying the views of the surrounding houses and the bay in the distance. As evening approached, I ended up at Union Square, a hub of shopping and activity. The square was alive with lights, street artists, and people enjoying their evening. I strolled through a couple of stores, but mostly I just enjoyed the lively atmosphere. For dinner, I decided to try something else San Francisco is famous for: Mission-style burritos. These massive, flavorful burritos originated in the Mission District and are known for their size and unique combination of ingredients. I had mine with grilled chicken, rice, black beans, sour cream, guacamole, and a little salsa. It was wrapped in a giant flavor tortilla and packed with so many flavors that every bite felt like a taste of San Francisco. The burrito was filling and definitely a must-try for anyone visiting the city. It was warm, filling, and a true taste of San Francisco's food culture. This simple yet delicious meal was the perfect way to end my day before heading back to the hotel. As I left the restaurant, I decided to walk back to the hotel, even though I was a bit tired from the day's adventures. Walking at night in San Francisco has its own charm. The city comes alive with glittering lights, the sound of cable cars clanging in the distance, and a cool breeze carrying the salty hint of the bay. For me, walking back to the hotel is not just about the journey. It's a way to reflect on the day. It gives me time to soak in the city's unique atmosphere and appreciate its beauty. San Francisco at night feels peaceful yet vibrant, and every step makes me feel more connected to the city. it's also a practical choice. After a day of indulging in delicious food and snacks, walking helps me feel lighter and more relaxed before settling in for the night. It's like a quiet farewell to the day's adventures. Uh, by the time I reached my hotel, I felt refreshed despite the tiredness, ready for a good night's sleep. As I wrapped up my day in San Francisco, I couldn't help but feel grateful for all the beautiful places I visited and the memories I made. It was an unforgettable experience, and I hope you enjoyed joining me on this journey. Remember, exploring new cities, tasting local foods, and soaking in the culture are all great ways to learn and grow, especially when it comes to improving your English. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out my other videos, like I Go to New York, and A Day in Chicago, A Day in Paris, for more adventures. Next, I'll be heading to another exciting destination. Stay tuned to find out where I'm going next.